Well, hello again. Welcome to the lakes. We're at High Oxenfell. The bungalow behind me is where my grandparents and father lived before he got married. And it's a gorgeous morning, but a bit of a late start for me. So we're going to have a walk over to Hodge Close. I'll show you what there is to see over there. Well, that's a fantastic view. Pike of Blisco, Bowfell and Coal Pike, where I was just the other day. This behind this branch, this is Lingmer Fell, and over in the distance you got Rossett Pike, and behind it Allen Crags. Anyway, we'll carry on. I might be biased, but just this bit here, one of the best views from a tarmac road in the lakes. Wetherlam. So this is High Oxenfell Farm, and owned by a National Trust, as indeed most of the land and properties around here are, but it's empty, which is a shame. And yeah, whether the rents are too high, I wouldn't like to say. To be honest, it'd be hard to make a decent living off a farm here. You're only really going to have sheep, and I dare say due to the covenants, the only sheep you'll be allowed to have will be herdwicks, which have limited value, so it'll be hard work. So the tarmac finishes at High Oxenfell Farm, and then it's a very rough track, not really motorable. I've been along it often enough on my mountain bike, mind. Right, so here we are at the hamlet of Hodge Close. I'm not even sure you can call it a hamlet, a collection of houses now. There is a row of old miners' or slate workers' cottages over on the far side, which you probably won't see in this film, but they're I think all privately owned now, and some of them are climbing club huts and walking club huts and one thing and another. So anyway, so the first quarry we're going to look at is Parrock, and it's down a steep slope here. Long while since I've been down here. So this concrete bed here, this had a winch on it, and it winched the slate up what was an incline. Hard to see today because of the way the light is, but and the incline has become derelict and destroyed over the years. Anyway, that's the way we're going down. So there we have one of the old rails from the incline, and now We're in the bottom of Parrot Quarry. You can see how overgrown it's become, and nature takes it all back. So Parrot Quarry was last worked in 1930, almost 100 years ago now. So all this vegetation and despoilation has happened since then. I'm sorry, the camera's probably wobbling, but it's a very uneven, we can't even call it a path. So Parrot Quarry, quite an echo in here, is joined by this hole, and there's another one round the other side which you can't see, to Hodge Close main quarry. And this has been destroyed at the end by a rockfall. Always got to be mindful of that in these sort of places. This is made of 2 crane jibs, and I don't know whether the holes made while Parrot was being worked or after. I've read lots of stuff, asked lots of people who worked here, and I've never been able to ascertain when it was broken through. Anyway, next we'll go back out of Parrot and we'll go around and have a proper look at Hodge Close. Don't know whether you can see that, but that's in a relatively sheltered area. So that gives you some indication of how cold it was last night. This is the second entranceway from Parrot through to Hodge Close. It's a little bit awkward to get to be fair. Well, we're around above Hodge Close now. And what we have here, I've used this before, but is what my father would call strong medicine. Only 1 drop required. That would sort you out. Anyway, I'll give you a bit more of an... sun's in my eyes. I'll give you a bit more of an overview of Hodge Close in a moment. Right, so that's looking into Hodge Close and down to the hole that we were in before. The water, I'm told, is about the same depth as the cliff you can see in front of you. I don't know whether that's true or not. Now you might ask how they got the slate out of a hole like this. There's no obvious way, but for many years, in the centre top of the picture there's a flat platform, and from there across to here there was a wire. They called that a blondin after the tightrope walker, and that rope was stretched across a wire hawser, well not a rope, wire hawser, and from that another wire down, and they would winch the slate clogs up and then out to my left hand side and land them. So the slate clogs were landed in this area here, and then they were taken over the other side of the road to the cutting sheds, where they were cut up into sections, and then to the riving sheds, where the slate would be cut up into thin slivers making roofing slates. I'm going to go over that side now and I'll give you a bit of a view of what I can see at the moment. Well, the sun's in my eyes, so I can't see what's on the screen. But over there we've got the Langdale Pikes. And just to the right of them you can see a big cliff just in the tree line. That was the last quarry to work here in the Hodge Close, Upper Tilberthwaite area, and that was Mossrig. My Uncle John worked there into the 1980s. All been recolonised, colonised, oh dear me, by larch trees and what have you. So these tips and all the muck which came out of Hodge Close is now being reworked. No doubt they're chipping it and using it for garden paths and such like. Better than it going to waste, I'm sure. In the background there, in the centre of the picture, you got Weatherlam. This end wall and the rough outline is all that's left of what was once the Hodge Close Chapel. I can remember it when it had a roof on, but it hasn't had a roof on for a long time. I'm guessing there just wasn't the people to attend, and it fell into disrepair, and eventually it collapsed. Yeah, quite a shame. Hodge Close Chapel. So there we are. Hodge Close finally stopped working in 1964, I think, which I suppose now is quite a long time ago. The workings slowly started filling up with water and made it virtually impossible to ever restart it. But all the muck that came out that wasn't used, because there's a massive amount of waste spoil when you're after slate. You only want the good stuff, and that's been reworked, so that's good. Hope you've enjoyed that short walk and a look at the quarries of Hodge Close. So I'd just like to say thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time.